The Conservative leadership contest took an extraordinary turn with James Cleverly's elimination, thanks to the cunning move by Robert Jenrick's team, as exposed in The Independent today. At first, Cleverly looked well positioned, securing an 8-vote lead over Jenrick, and the way he was pulled out was by Jenrick's team persuading people who hated Badenoch more that if they lent Jenrick their votes, they could ensure that Badenoch was out of the race. And it is extraordinary how easy that process was. The real drama unfolded behind the scenes as Jenrick's camp, led by Danny Kruger, John Hayes, Mark Francois, launched a strategic operation to sway Cleverly's supporters. And the mission was twofold: secure votes from the centrist Tugendhat supporters and peel away enough of Cleverly's base to push Jenrick over the line. And Jenrick's team identified 5 or 6 MPs who were particularly hostile to Badenoch, and they played to this sentiment, persuading these MPs to lend their votes to Jenrick, arguing it was the only way to block Badenoch's path to the final. And in response, Cleverly's team attempted to counter the tactical voting by rallying his supporters, but it proved too little too late. As the votes were counted, Badenoch surprisingly received 42 votes, causing a moment of panic for Jenrick. However, Cleverly only garnered 37 votes, leaving Jenrick with 41 and a spot in the final showdown. Jenrick now faces Badenoch as the Conservative grassroots prepare to vote for their next leader. I think, from Jenrick's point of view, he's misplayed this as well. And from Jason Cleverly's point of view, from Tugendhat's point of view, from the Conservative point of view, this is a disaster. The pivot to the right, focusing on issues like leaving the European Convention on Human Rights, reducing migration. Despite his shift, Jenrick assures voters he aims for common ground politics, distancing himself from labelling himself as either right or centrist. It's up to the party members now, with Jenrick hoping his balancing act resonates with the wider Tory base. That wider Tory base is destroyed. The One Nation Tories will not vote. They didn't vote in many cases, but for Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak. They're more likely not to vote now. And I think there'll be more former Conservatives sending in their card, ditching their Conservative Party membership completely. And I think they're going to look towards the Lib Dems for a home, or just simply be homeless. And but for people who've been active in politics, to be homeless for long is not really an option. It's just there isn't a natural place for people who were former members of the One Nation Conservative Party. And there is a place for the Badenochs and Robert Jenricks, and that actually is reform. I find this a very strange situation, personally, that it's playing out in real time, almost exactly as I had predicted about this time last year.